Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about the Temporis, Revenge of the Scroll Slayers, also called Temporis VI. In this video I will be going over 10 tips that will help you start out with your Temporis journey and will help you progress faster and easier through the game. And these tips will also help you make it more efficient to progress through the game. So I started playing on the Temporis yesterday. At first I wasn't really sure if I were to play the Temporis, but I thought I'm going to just give it a shot and see where I will be ending. Especially after seeing that it is a lot easier to progress through the battle pass compared to last Temporis. I will show you in a second. So I play eachother. I'm currently level 27, which I got in about 2 hours of questing. So leveling, as you see, is quite easy. Also, you will be dropping all your gear and spells, so it's very easy and simple. So yeah, let's go over the 10 tips that will make you a better Temporis player. So first of all, let's go over the Temporis achievements. If you go to the achievements on the bottom over here, there's a special section that is called Temporis. And if you go here, you basically have the same achievements as you have normally over here. But these achievements actually give you 10 tokens. These 10 tokens you will need to progress through the battle pass, which I will show you in a second. So if you go here, these are the regular monster achievements, like this. You have to beat a challenge with the peewees and all the other monsters as well. So it's basically the same as the achievements over here. Except these will not grant you achievement points, but these will grant you the 10 tokens. So this will be your main goal during the Temporis, to get as much of these achievements as possible. Using the 10 tokens you will be able to progress through this battle pass. Just like the previous Temporis episodes, you will be earning rewards based on the amount of 10 tokens you will earn. So I am currently at 25 10 tokens, so I just got this pet, and I'm currently working towards the next spell that I will be unlocking. So it's good to know that everything in a big square, so this scroll, this pet and this cosmetic item, you will get to bring those back to you on to the main server. Everything else after the Temporis ends, it will get deleted and you can't bring anything with you except for the rewards that you'll be earning in these big squares. So you have the scroll, you have the pet, and obviously you have the cosmetic items. So this is the cloak, and the pet will be getting bigger and it will eventually get an evolution as well. So you have the hat over here, which is also a cosmetic item, and you have the shield over here, and eventually the pet will get an evolution into a tiger. So when you bring this pet with you to the main server, it will become a ceremonial item, as you can see in the description below. So it will not be giving you the stats, but during the Temporis these pets actually give very nice stats. As you see here, when you get 1000 10 tokens, this pet will actually give you 300 vitality, 50 in all stats and MP, and 2000 pots. So the thing is, with the pots, they added it in this Temporis. It didn't have those during the previous one, so I very much like it, because most of the time I'm pretty much capped on the pots, so it's very nice. And eventually, so in the previous Temporis you could have I think 10,000 10 tokens, and now it's just capped at 3,500. So I think you get a little less tokens from the achievements, but I think from first few that I had on the achievements, I think it's easier to progress than last time, especially since you don't have to focus on getting cards to level, because you can actually level with XP. So tip number 2, dropping spells early game. So as you guys know, during this Temporis, the main thing is that every class can use any spell in the game. The way you get those spells is by dropping from monsters, I think, but I'm not sure. You can craft them as well. If you go to the spells section over here at the bottom, you can actually see how you can acquire these spells. So Some are dropped from a monster, so you can click on here, you can see which monsters are dropping these spells. And some have like question marks, so these have like a secret method of obtaining, probably by crafting or certain achievements or quests maybe, but I'm not quite sure yet. There's also French websites out there that will have a complete list of every spell in the game. I didn't get a look at that yet, but like that's something you can have a look at to know what spells you can get. So if you start out with a class like an eachother that has no spells in the beginning of the game, there's actually an NPC outside of the Incarnum Temple where you enter the game on -2, -3. If you talk to that NPC, I think you have to kill like a couple of monsters in this level 1 area. And you can use the punch basic spell that you get to complete that quest, and you get a spell. So that's very nice. For the rest of it, you can basically like just play the game and you will be dropping these spells. Like you see here, I focused on a chance build, but I didn't actually like grind for those spells. I just randomly got those and put them over here. So it's not really that much of a grind. If you just play the game, you will be dropping the spells, and maybe like on later stages you might want to focus on dropping certain spells if you know where to go. But like if you're just starting out, just play the game, you will be dropping like a lot of those spells. Like you see here, I've got like 3 intelligence spells, I got like 4 strength spells, agility spells, so there's like a lot of choice for you. So tip number 3. If you drop these spells, you get like these scrolls in your inventory. You double click on them, they will go over here in your list, and you can drag them over here to your spell bar. If you want to like remove them, so let's say for example you drop a very rare spell and you use it and you don't feel like you want to use it anymore, you want to sell it maybe. You can actually click on this, forget the spell, and recover the scroll, and it will go back to your inventory as a scroll and you will be able to sell them. Tip number 4. So early game, you might think it's very hard to like start out because you have no gear, no kamas, and it's very hard to make kamas because like the servers are so populated and everybody's like grinding and stuff. But it's not really big of a deal because you will be dropping items from monsters. So basically every monster in the game drops certain items, so it's very easy to get like basic gear to start out. I was just like questing around the Incarnum village and I was able to get almost a full adventure set to start out. Eventually I went to Airstrip, fought some PVs, some blue PVs because I'm chance build. I got to drop some PV items as well as some mosquito items. Most of the items I dropped I put in my haven bag. So that's actually another tip, but I will put it quickly in between here. All the items you drop, it's better to save them for later because you can actually crush them for runes if you get a chance to go to Bonta eventually. So basically I'm level 27 and with all the dropped items I got over 200 chance. So it's not that hard, just play the game, you will be dropping these items and it's very easy. So tip number 5, where do you start with on the Temporis? So I always say to people, when you're starting a game, whether it's on a new server or like this on the Temporis, just play the game. And with that I mean start questing. Basically, like I played about 2 hours yesterday, managed to get level 27 with decent gear, and all I did was questing in Incarnum. So basically I got a 100% completion in the Incarnum quest. The quest itself gives some XP, like the achievement gives some XP, and when you are questing you're also fighting monsters, you get those achievements. And with all the quests and achievements that I was able to get, I leveled quite quickly. I also did the Incarnum dungeon because I had to do it for a quest, and eventually I found someone where I could do the Sunflower dungeon with, so I did that as well. And basically like you get these achievements where you get the quests. I think I got the 25 one as well, which is in the Temporis section over here. So I got the 25 quest completion as well. So that way it's very easy and quickly to level without like having to grind monsters for experience. Tip number 6. So if you want to focus on the tempokens and you want to get as far as possible and as quickly as possible and also as easy as possible, I highly suggest focusing on the challenge achievements very early on in the game. So as you can see here, I completed 25 challenge, which is very easy if you just play the game. But you have to do like 1,000 challenges against a group of monsters that is a higher level than your own. And also, so that's normal challenges, you also need 500 dungeon challenges as well. So basically you are most likely not going to get this achievement if you just play the game and not focus on this achievement. So if you are like level 100 plus, it's very hard to get this achievement quickly. So therefore I will be showing you a quick method on how to get that achievement very easy. So if you go here, you go to the Incarnum dungeon, you see these monsters are level 31. So basically, if you are below level 31, you can just do the Incarnum dungeon. You get 2 challenges per room, so that's 10 challenges in total for 1 dungeon run. If you manage to do like both achievements in every room at least. So that will mean like 10 dungeon runs could potentially give you about 80 to 100 challenges. So it's a little bit of a grind. But it's basically the easiest and fastest way to get the dungeon challenges, and also the dungeon challenges also count towards the regular challenges. So not only like if you get so if you get like 500 dungeon challenges, you also get 500 regular challenges. So it's like a 2-in-1 combo. So you can just do the Incarnum dungeon if you are below level 31. If you are a little bit higher, I think you can do the Sunflower dungeon, but it's a lot slower than that. And there's also one more method that if you are a higher level, with that I'm talking about 100 plus, at least below level 180, I think you can do the Uga dungeon, and there's a certain room where there's only like these mushrooms spawning, which have like a very low level, and you can just quickly grind those and get like 2 challenges for every fight as well. But the easiest way to do this is just to like grind Incarnum dungeon until you get all the dungeon challenges. Like you don't have to like get to 500, you can also get like to about 400, 450 maybe, and get the other challenges when you just play the game. So tip number 7. I also mentioned it a bit earlier. It's maybe hard to get some kamas when you're starting out on the Temporis. So therefore Ankama decided to put the kama purchase in the battle pass. So as you see here, when you get to 50 Tempokens, you get 3 of these kamas purses. They give 20,000 kamas each, so that's about 60 kk. And if you progress a little bit further, there is like another one at 400 points, 5 times, so that's a 100 kk. And a little bit further there's even more, you get like 25. So that's a lot of kamas. Now obviously you will be spending pretty much all of it, but like you don't necessarily have to like make kamas in order to progress through the game. At least that's what I experienced in the previous Temporis. Like I didn't really have to grind for kamas to progress through the game. You will also be able to sell the drops that you get and probably crash items for runes. Also maybe like sell stuff like this. Some of these items have a pretty high value like this, like 800 kamas each. Now the question is, will it sell? Probably not that fast because a lot of people do it, but you can always try. So tip number 8. We just scrolled a bit through the battlepass, and as you saw, like you get these characteristic scrolls as well. So these are not the same as on the regular server. You can basically use this at any time, and these give you a little bit more characteristics than the normal scrolls. So as you can see here, this gives +6 on every element including wisdom, and you get multiple ones if you like progress through here. Now what I learned from the previous Temporis is that it's actually better to save them. Now early game you might think like, I want as much stats as possible to quickly turn fights. Yes, but eventually like you will not be able to get 100 in each stat by using these scrolls. So eventually you have to like scroll on the normal way using doubloons for scrolls. So what I'm going to do with this Temporis, and that is actually also my tip for now, early game just save these scrolls and don't use them yet. When you get a little bit higher level, you can actually do the wanted monsters, and when you do the wanted monsters, I will show you here, quests, wanted. So these, so it doesn't show you over here, but like if you get these wanted quests, they will give you doubloons, and with those doubloons you can actually buy scrolls. Now let's say hypothetically you will be using these scrolls and you will be able to get to like 60 in every stat. So to scroll from 60 to 100 will be very expensive because you will need great and powerful scrolls. But if you like scroll from 0 to 50, you will only need 2000 doubloons to scroll until 50, and then you will be using these scrolls to get to like 100 in the stat that you want. So that's pretty much the best way to scroll on the Temporis. So tip number 9. Ingame actually included some new spells in the Temporis that are not on the normal game. And these spells actually grant you AP on the next turn after casting. So I'm a chance build and I got my hands on this spell. It inflicts water damage, and on the next turn after casting it, it will actually give me 3 AP. Now there's a cooldown of 3 turns, but it's still very nice. You can early game you are 6 AP, so if you cast it on like turn 1, on turn 2 you will be able to like cast 3 spells because you'll be 9 AP. And I figured like they added this spell in every element. So if I scroll a bit down, so there's an Eggy spell which is also 1 to 3 range, and there's also a strength spell over here, and I'm pretty sure like maybe this is the intelligence version of it. Yeah, this is the intelligence version of it. So every element has this spell, and I highly recommend like if you drop it like to use this spell to get like a nice AP buff once every 3 turns. So tip number 10. You have these little characters on the battle pass, and at first I thought it was like a trophy that gave 10 wisdom, but it actually is a sidekick. So you can actually equip it. It also gives 10 wisdom, so also nice to have. But like there's like a sidekick that will join you in a fight, so these do not exist on the regular server. But these are actually quite strong. Like as you see here, they have very high vitality, and they get like a bunch of spells over here. Like every element has a spell, you get like buffs and like a debuff, and they can heal. Like these are very nice sidekicks to use. They basically do about the same damage as your own character. So yeah, like they even have like AoE spells. So it's very nice to use these. I highly suggest using these as well once you get your hands on it. So let's quickly finish this fight. So yeah, these sidekicks are very nice. You should really use it. So over here you can see like how easy it is to drop items. I got like from a single fight I did 1 challenge. I got a spell, I got some meat, I got a key, got some weapons, some items. So it's very easy to like level. So also if you get your hands on a hunting weapon, I highly suggest using it, even though the stats are like nothing. So on later levels you can just buy an item that has a hunting rune on it, but for now, like, to get the meats to level your hunter later on can be very nice. So those are my 10 tips that will help you make a better Temporis player and help you progress faster and easier through the game. I've got one little bonus tip for you, like you might have mentioned if you've already been to Airstrip, there are some maps over there also in dungeons like Sunflower Dungeon. Those maps can be very populated and a lot of people are over there, and it can become quite laggy. So I highly suggest to go creature mode outside of the fights to make the game like run smoother, and it will be a lot more pleasant experience for you. So those are my 10 tips for the Temporis. I hope you guys like it. If you want to see more of the Temporis content on my channel, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching and have a good day. See ya!